Hi, and welcome to Fuck Around and Get Paid, the podcast that's here to help you get paid for doing what you love. So if that sounds good to you, and if in particular in this episode, you are a spiritual entrepreneur, or you are a woman, or you are somebody who just maybe has been getting a little caught up in trying to get everything right, this episode is for you, my friend. Let's dive in. I'm going to be honest with you. This episode is 99.9% straight up rant. Okay. Because there are some things that I've got on my mind and my heart, and I've got to get it out there. And I think that I know I'm not the only one who is thinking these things. And what I'm going to say needs to be said. Okay. I am fucking over purity culture. And I am especially over it for women entrepreneurs and exceptionally over it for women spiritual entrepreneurs. Those of us who have been healing and feeling and moving toward this thing, this calling, this something that is happening inside of us that has started in the past decade and has, or less or more, and has snowballed into something that has led us on this journey, on this trajectory of either leaving a job, starting a business, doing education, taking courses, all of the things that have taken us to this certain point that we are at in our lives. And we have been sold or bought into, or we have ourselves sold the concept or the idea that we have to get to some essentially perfect form of ourselves, some perfectly polished, whatever version of ourselves that finally will be worthy of financial abundance, that finally will be worthy of whatever it is that we desire, the freedom that we desire, the relationship that we desire, the family that we desire, the life that we desire, the house that we desire, the car that we desire, all of the things. It is a reckoning right now for us to take a look and really see, my friends, where we have been looped into just another patriarchal system that has sold us on this bullshit. I'm over it. I'm over it. And I've been over it. And it needs to be said. I'm drawing a line in the sand for myself about this because, guys, I love meditation. I love breath work. I love all of these spiritual practices that have deeply supported me. And I fully believe in energetics. Everything is energy. There's so much that we don't understand, that we can't see with our own two eyes, but that we can sense and we can feel, especially when we begin to do these practices and activate our other psychic senses, which we all have and can all activate should we desire to and tap into that. I'm in full belief of that. I've had too many wild experiences as a breath worker and as a human being to not be fully bought into that. But what I am not fully bought into is the idea that we have to become some more pristine version of ourselves, some higher, some better, some something version of ourselves so that we can have the life that we desire. And I'm just going to give you the example that to my brain, it's like my brain can't stop festering on this, and it's been festering on it for a couple of years, is look around at, there are plenty of people who are living really effing cool lives. If you look at them, who are like, they're not somebody who seems spiritually high and mighty. They're not living up on the mountain. They are not living a pure and pristine life. They are watching Netflix. They might be somebody who's on the Real Housewives of Orange County, Kid Rock. Like, look at people who they're, but yet somehow in the coaching industry and in the women's business industry, especially, we are easily sold on this concept and this idea. And I'm like, No more, y'all. We've just got to stop buying into that shit because it doesn't serve us. It just keeps us continuously chasing some ideal that is not possible. You are a soul who came here to have a human experience. That's it. You were a soul who, like, I came here to feel what it feels like to be in a human body, to feel the depths of life itself, to feel the highs of life itself. I'm here to have the experience. And if we just allow ourselves to be driven by that, to be guided by that, to let your soul say, "Ooh, yes, let's try that. Ooh, let's try that. Ooh, let's try that. Oh, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if?" That's going to lead you to all of the things that you desire. That's it, right? Like, that's the game. And when we know that, suddenly everything in business, in work, in life, in relationships, it is a whole different board game. We're no longer playing to climb up the mountain. Instead, we're like, oh, everything's available to me and I can just choose which direction I want to go. These pieces can actually move in so many directions. It's not just up. And so this is where I really differ on a couple of things. Okay. And I have come to, and I'm always open. So I have strong beliefs and I do my best to hold them very loosely. I'm willing to change. I'm willing to open my mind and have new ideas and consider new ideas. And if you've listened to my podcast since the beginning, back when I had another podcast and even the beginning of this podcast, I've changed my concept of things quite a bit, although many things are still rooted in basically the same idea that everybody has such amazing, incredible gifts that are meant to be brought into the world for your own delight and for the delight of others, but your own delight first. It always is rooted in that. But I have really varied on some of these, like, wow, I didn't know about tarot. I didn't know about breath work. I didn't know about all of these things. But where I really have realized the more I experience life, the more experiences that I personally have in life, which have been incredibly something that I never thought that I would experience in my lifetime, especially in the past year with my husband and I separating, coming back together. Now we're building a business together. All of those experiences showed me some serious things. And some of the things that were revealed to me in particular are the ways in which holding ourselves to this ideal of perfection will constantly keep you in a feed of always feeling like life is never enough, like you're never enough, the people in your life are never enough, all of the things that you have are never enough, and then it will never be enough. And we are intended to be on that hamster wheel for the benefit of a few people. They put you on that hamster wheel. But here's the thing. You don't need, your soul was not intended to be on that hamster wheel. Somebody else really intends for you to be there, but you get to choose to get off. And so my joy and my delight is in helping people to get off of that hamster wheel and go play the board game that you really want to play, because you don't have to be running on that anymore. And you'll never get to wherever it is that you're going, because that it's just not achievable. It's not achievable. It never was. And why is it not achievable? Because you're already that. You are already perfection. You are already life itself. You are made of stardust. You are made of the same stuff that everybody else on this earth is made of. And when you realize that and you really come to this full bodied realization that it's like, holy baloney, I am perfection that is trying to be perfect, but I'm also imperfection that is trying not to be imperfection. Do you feel the paradox there? I'm perfection trying to be perfection, and I am imperfection trying not to be imperfection. That's what we're stuck in, this constant hamster wheel, like I said, of those two things, when it's like, just be okay with the fact that you are both perfect and imperfect, and that's it. And now we can actually play the game. Now we can actually have fun. And the people who have power in this game, that's where they get it, because the power is actually within you. And so I know this is like just such a total rant, but I just had to. I just had to because I'm over and it's not just me. I'm saying my personal views on this that I'm genuinely just so fucking over being a duck. I wrote a Substack article that will link in the podcast notes in case you want to go read it about how social media has created this space for women, just another place for us to be a duck where we feel like we have to look like we have it all together as business owners, as women. We have to have it all together. We have to be the essence of perfection. And meanwhile, our legs are just kicking under that water, just kicking, just holding it all together until we absolutely explode. And I feel like it's exploding right now all over the place because we're just over it and we're ready for authenticity. We're ready for real. But with real and with authenticity, the funny thing that's been happening is that, and you can see it, we can sniff this out, you guys, we can sniff out a lie faster than anything. As human beings, we have a sense for truth and we have a sense for lies, and we can sniff out anybody who's being fake authentic in a second. I saw this beautiful post on social media a couple of weeks ago where a woman had genuinely been crying. She had received this card from somebody, and I mean, she just had snot and tears, and legitimately she had recorded her response to send it to her friend and was like, I just want you to see like how much this touched me. And then she ended up sharing that video on social media. But then in the same day, I saw somebody else share a video of herself opening a card from somebody, and it was like she had watched the video of somebody else gone viral and then she created her own. And I'm just like, instantaneously gross, instantaneously never going to buy something from that person. And so we really have to look at this and I'm speaking specifically to business owners right now in this new wave of, okay, we're effing done with purity culture. We are done striving for some perfection that it never existed. It never will. We're so effing over it and exhausted from running on this hamster wheel. We're done, right? And so that's what's imploding all over social media right now. And so now you're starting to see the Yap idea come back in, long form content starting to come back in. People are moving over onto Substack, but then the inauthentic stuff, the inauthentic authentic is happening, which just makes all of us want to throw up in our mouth a little bit. And so I try not to rant as much as possible, but this in particular, in this particular moment, I simply think it needs to be said. Don't do that. Just don't do that. Be real in your real way. Now, I shared an article on Substack that said something about the title was about a whale's vagina, and I literally talk about my own vagina in this Substack article. Okay, I'm not saying that everybody needs to go out and start talking like that, but I do because one, it feels good to me. Two, that's who I am. That's how I am. That's how I talk. If you were to sit down and have a conversation with me, we would sit down at a table at dinner. I would actually accidentally tell you way too much. I would accidentally overshare. It is just an awkward thing about me that is very real. That definitely happens. I say things that probably shouldn't be said, that later I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that hurts somebody's feelings. It just comes out and I don't know that it's not something that you should say. I got a little touch of that just flies out all the time. That's who I am. And it feels really good to free that part of me, especially after a few years of feeling like everything was wrong with me and I had to heal it and I had to feel it. And there's nothing wrong with that process, by the way. If you've been on that journey, maybe you're neck deep in that journey, there is so much beauty in going in and seeing these parts of ourselves and meeting these parts of ourselves and loving these parts of ourselves. Where I think it has gone very awry in the performative spirituality performative healing, performative coaching, performative yada yada business space is when we feel like that is something that is wrong with us that needs to be fixed. Because even your deepest, darkest, most painful, most difficult, most challenging thoughts, pieces, parts of you, it's a part of you and it's a beautiful thing. It is such a beautiful thing. And when you realize that and you go into it and you meet it, something transformative happens. That caterpillar that is done being a caterpillar gets to transform into a butterfly, or heck, maybe it just stays a caterpillar that's so happy being a caterpillar. We don't have to force anything to become anything else. And so the practices that I have created, the things that I've shared in the expansion room and my courses are really coming from that place of let's meet these beautiful parts of ourselves, because all of it is so worthy. You don't need to get to some new version of yourself. I am really have come to, I say this term sometimes, but I'm saying it a lot less, higher self. And even like identity work sometimes gets a little sticky. I'm into it because I do believe that there is like what has not served you in the past can transform into something new. And where you're going in the future, it will require different energies that you tap into. But it's not that one is better than the other. It's not that you're becoming some more pure version of you, more even next level version of you. Sometimes the ideas of levels, I think, can help us to deal with the fact that, like, why is this so difficult? And so sometimes I will use levels as just the idea of like, okay, yeah, you decided to play the video game at level 23 instead of playing it over and over and over again at level 1, which for some people is enjoyment. Some people love to play the first level of Mario just over and over and over, and that just makes them really happy. Other people love to go all the way to level 8-3 and try to do that crazy jump over and over, whatever happened. There are all the fiery things that happen in those levels, right? It's just different strokes for different folks. That doesn't mean that one is better, this whole ascension thing. And I know that that's really at odds with some people's spiritual beliefs. But from my perspective, it actually holds people back. It keeps them living Groundhog Day. It keeps them in never ending cycles of not enoughness, not feeling like they deserve, lack of worthiness, all of these things, when you just simply realize, oh my gosh, I am both perfection and imperfection all at once, here to have a human experience. Freedom. Freedom is born. And if that concept feels sticky or difficult for you, this is the coaching that I do, is to help people with this, because it has been so transformative for me and for my husband in our lives, completely unsticking us from things. When we really bought into this concept, there was this soul level freedom that has happened for us. And that happens with the people that we work with when we really inhabit this perspective. And so I think it's time. It is time for us to usher in this new, beautiful era. And what does this have to do with fucking ground and getting paid? What does this have to do with work? Well, everything, because the perspective that we move from in life, the perspective that we hold for ourselves and our vision of our lives, our vision of our future, our vision of our contribution, that place that you move from, asking people all of the time, like, where are you moving from? Where is the energy coming from? That dictates the output. That dictates whatever you create. That dictates how much value you create that you then receive back in financial. It dictates how much you're willing to receive back from that value that you create that has financial worth, right, to other people. So it matters majorly. And if we're always in this, I've got to get somewhere. I've got to prove myself. I've got to put on some perfect mask. I've got to perform some version of me. If you're doing it for funsies, that's one thing. It is one thing to perform because it's fun to perform. It is totally different for you to show up as a version of you because, ooh, it just kind of feels juicy and fun for me to walk into a room this way and to get to experience it. That again is playing the game. That's playing the board game. That's saying, ooh, what if I move this way? Ooh, what if I move that way? Ooh, what happens when I do this? What happens when I do that? That's experimentation. That's play. That's us really understanding that that's how we get to move in this life. And it's not about the moral concept of good and bad and high and low and good and evil and better or worse. It's a whole different thing. And so here's what I encourage you in this episode. If you're here and you're listening and you're like, ooh, there's something in this for me, is to ask yourself, where am I moving from? What is the energy that is directing my choices? What is the energy that is directing my desires? What is the energy that is directing where I want to go, where I want to grow? Is it because I feel like I need something? Is it because I feel like, ooh, this is interesting. I'm curious about this. This sounds fun. Ooh, I'd love that. Ooh, I'd like to try that. Very, 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 very different energies. And those energies are abundant. Those second ones, those are all energies of love. Curiosity is 100% a doorway of love. The other, if we're trying to get somewhere, prove something, do something so that it will get us somewhere, those are energies of scarcity. Those are closed doors. Those are energies of fear-based thinking. Because if I don't, what will happen? Ooh. And this can go really deep, okay? But I just a nice little surface level conversation rant for us to really look at. I want you to look as a business owner, as a human, as a person out there desiring whatever it is that you are desiring. How am I showing up and what energy am I moving from on social media, in your business, in your conversations with people, in your outreach to clients, during your client sessions themselves? Where am I moving from? This is the question that I've been sitting with a lot. And I have been sitting in the depths lately, which is where this is all coming from, because I think that this is a big question of our time. And we have the chance to really shift things in a powerful, different direction with the science, with the technology, with everything that is available at our fingertips right now. The people who get off the hamster wheel and realize you're actually on the board and you're playing this game are going to be the people who see abundant new opportunities, going to see the people who are creating value for other people. And I would highly encourage you to create the kind of value that doesn't keep people on the hamster wheel, but empowers them to get off of it. Because right now, that's the opportunity. So conscious leadership, spiritual leadership that's not coming from a place of chasing, but from a place of true empowerment, anything that empowers people, anything that helps people to become the kind of person that empowers people, highly, highly valuable, highly prized right now. Those are the kinds of people who we need stepping up and leading in this time. And it takes courage, because it's very normal to stay on that hamster wheel. It takes a lot of courage, but if you've got it, if you've got those cojones, then that's what I am here to do. That's what the kind of people who are joining into our community inside of the expansion room, the kind of people who are coming into our next offer, which I'm soon to be talking about, but not quite yet. That's what we're doing, because that's what my soul is excited about. That's what I feel like we live in such a super cool, exciting time right now to be doing this kind of work, to be really seeing that, wow, this experience that I'm having is an opportunity for me to play, to enjoy. Fun culture, joy culture, all of that is just, it's gonna skyrocket. It already is taking off. So if you are one of those people who is here to play and have fun, I'm telling you, the opportunities are ripe and they are coming. So keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, be looking for the opportunities to be more you in the most you way that you can be. Again, that doesn't mean that you're talking about whale vaginas, but maybe. But let yourself just let loose and play and have fun and be a genuine human, because that is what we need more than anything right now, is more humans being human. My friend, it's such a joy to have you as part of this community, whether you are with us inside of our paid community, whether you are here as somebody who's listening to the podcast every week and feeling inspired and out there doing your work in the world. My husband, Joey, and I are just so passionate about this, and we love this work. We love this kind of thinking. We love the people who are joining in our community. And so it's just such a pleasure to get to share this with you and to commune with you on it. So if you want to come and be part of our community of growing business owners who are really taking the lead and being the people who are thinking differently, who are moving differently, who are getting off the hamster wheel, come inside the expansion room. You can go to jenliss.com/expansion and come join a crew of beautiful possibility thinkers who are doing things differently. And if not, that's beautiful too. I love having you here in this community, and I'll see you in the next episode, my friend. Take care.